Monday. I'm Chris Fote. This is Monday Morning Jolt. Let's get started. Sharona?
Good morning. Today we have Mike Moses. Mike Moses wears many hats. This guy works all the time and he's a very hard-working person. But one of the things that he does is comedy, but he's looking very serious today.
I have to look serious. I was telling my youngest son, I took my daughter down to IU to register her for her classes, and I told my 16-year-old son, I said, you know, I'm not even looking at years anymore. You have 9 more report cards, and you're out of here. So we're trying to be focused so that I can get him out of my house. It's going to be a lovely day.
You think that's going to do it, huh?
Well, I'm moving.
You're moving?
And I have a P.O. box. My cell phone address is connected to the P.O. box. They can't even find me. I'll go do comedy in states that I know they won't come. I'm in Nebraska. There's 2 feet of snow outside. The temperature is 50 below zero. No, that's not the wind chill. It's actually 50 below zero.
So, Mike Moses Presents is your company, right?
Yes, the actual company name is Mozart Promotions.
Okay.
We do business as Mike Moses Presents. And the reason we chose to do business as Mike Moses Presents is here in our community in the Midwest, there's been a lot of promoters that have come and they promise things and they'll have shows and then the day of the show they cancel, or the show will run extremely late to start and the quality isn't there. We don't have a lot of money. All I have is my name. So I put my name on it as a signature, as a guarantee that you're going to get a great show at a great value, and the show is going to start on time.
Whoa.
So when we post 7:30, the show's at 7:30. I've had some guests come in near the end. I'm still going to pay you charge you full price. Understand that, you know, because whatever part you come in, you're going to get a great show. But we got to get folks back into the habit of RSVP and getting places on time. We've kind of, as society, we've kind of taken a lax attitude towards things, and oh, it'll be going on when we get there. And so they're often shocked that the show started at 7:30. But I'm old, so it's like, if the show starts at 7:30, if it's over by 9:30, if I put a load of laundry in a washer, I have enough time to go put that in the dryer and then have the rest of my weekend, which usually includes going to bed around 10 o'clock at night.
So, I know you do comedy and you organize comedy too, so other people participate in your shows. But you also took on a project called at the Fillmore, the musicians, Art and Souls in the City. Tell us a little bit about that.
Art and Soul of the City, the concept, when you look at it, when you take away Mike Moses as the comedian, in comedy, I only do comedy here in Fort Wayne at the Snickers Comedy Bar, but I wanted to showcase people that there was more. Art and Soul of the City, the mission was to showcase the best artists that we can get to come to Fort Wayne and perform, to try to showcase the best venues that this town has to offer. And then the third is to showcase the very best artists that live right here in our area and showcase them all. You know, we have people that will spend dollars, hard-earned dollars, driving to Chicago or Indianapolis to see the same type of art that I'm bringing to Fort Wayne. But you have to look beyond the ticket price in Chicago. You have to look at the fact that you're going to spend a great deal of gas, and gas is up there near $4 now. Some places it is over $4. So you're going to spend the money to drive there and back. Drive to Chicago. If you get on any of their highway systems, you're guaranteed to at least pay 1 toll. Then once you're in Chicago, you have to find parking. Now, you can get lucky and park on the street and hope that you don't get the very famous boot that they can put on your car or get it towed, or you're going to pay $21 to park. Now that you've done that, you go to eat or use their hotels. Not only are you paying the regular Illinois taxes, but you're paying for their stadium taxes for when they do things like Soldier Field and all those things. And every dollar that's taken from Fort Wayne and spent in Illinois, 0% comes back to our community.
Right.
0%. And so what we're trying to do is to show folks that we can do the same thing. We can duplicate and even make it better than what you would get there. And also, we want to try to stem that brain drain effect in Fort Wayne. We have lots of schools of higher learning here. lots of colleges, and we get some of our kids, or we'll have young adults that move from other communities to come here, get those valuable degrees, and move and leave because they don't believe there's anything for them, and they're not moving because it's just because of they don't think there's jobs here. We have some jobs here. We have ITT. We have all these great industries here, but they move, and they'll move to a place like Chicago. And I'm not dissing Chicago because that's where I'm from. I love Chicago. I need to say that. But they will oftentimes move to a big city, pay triple the rent for a very small, confined space, and then they have to deal with all the chaos that goes on in the city. To me, a big city is a nice place to visit, but I don't want to live there anymore. But I want to just kind of stop the people that, and we all know them, maybe we're guilty of it, of saying, oh, there's nothing to do here in Fort Wayne. Or we're changing it. That's the movement that we're changing. And so that's why we've done Come to Go, we've done the Fillmore, we've used Snickers, we've used the Thirsty Camel, which is right down here in downtown. They have a whole facility up above the Thirsty Camel in the Midtown room. People don't know about it. And we started this movement in 2006. Long before the Harrison Square project got off the ground. We want to showcase to Fort Wayne the great businesses we have, but we also, again, we want to showcase the local artists. But you know, there's a mentality that when you use local artists, that people think that it's cheap. So that's why we try to bring in these international artists. We just did a show on the 23rd. We brought in 2 international poets because April is National Poetry Month. So we brought in 2 HBO deaf poets, and we utilized CS3, which is Calhoun Street Soup, Salad, and Spears, just to show folks. And then we put on 3 or 4 great local artists, and for $10, what a value. Plenty of parking on Calhoun Street, in their parking lot all along, and there's no worries, there's no crime to worry about, none of that stuff. Just have a great time. And again, encouraging people to stay here in Fort Wayne, to invest in Fort Wayne in our arts community, because if you invest in your arts in your cultural community centers, your government, not your government, but your community will thrive, your community will grow.
Right.
So that's what we try to do. And again, if you notice, I try to make sure I take myself out of it. It's about promoting businesses and other artists.
Now this is Monday Morning Jolt, so we want to know what makes Monday great for you.
Monday is typically an off day for me, since most of my events will be on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Monday is the day that I can kind of chill out, because when you're having the events go on and you look at the things that go on, you're like, why do I do this? By Monday, I'm regrouping, and surprisingly, I'm ready to start tackling the next project. So that's kind of one of those days a lot of people look at Monday like, oh, it's Monday. For me, Monday is my weekend.
Do you do a lot of planning on that day for the upcoming shows?
Probably in a sense, but it's more subconsciously.
Okay.
You know.
That's your Sunday for most people, right?
It would be my Sunday. A lot of times what we do, and I took this from my former employer, I do what I call COE, and that's where I look at the previous event and I do my correction of errors. What was the good, the bad, and the ugly? So that as I prepare to do the next event, whatever it is, I can look at what was learned from the previous event and continue to grow. And I think that's very important for businesses to do today. We have all these wonderful ideas of what we want to do, but if we don't sit back, we can get mad and internalize it, and then we'll go to the next event that we didn't write down, and we make the same mistake. Sometimes you have to look at and note the weather, what was the temperature, and making sure that when you have the next event, so if you do something the same time next year, you can look at your notes and see what went well, what worked you definitely want to keep, what went bad you want to improve on, and the ugly, toss that completely out.
No, and that's good advice for other businesses that have events and for their either for their clients or for themselves, to really do a post analysis to find out how to make it better next time.
You have to, and even when you're doing your next planning meeting, you still have to devote an amount of time. So if you have partners, you have to sit down and say, give me your correction of errors, and get in department, you know, if you have a larger department, just kind of get everyone's take. Because
Right.
when you have more sets of eyes looking at it, you know,
bet.
did we run out of coffee, or did we run out of this, or did we have too much of this? But you have to do it, and you have to do it soon after that event. You can't wait a
While
week.
it's all fresh in everybody's mind.
Absolutely have to. And I believe this is the secret to why businesses either succeed or fail.
Well, it's that continuous improvement. How do-
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So do you have a philosophy or adage by which you either personally operate or professionally operate? Or they might be both the same.
It came from a fortune cookie, and it's on one of my emails, one of my signatures on there, but basically I live by happiness is in the heart, not the circumstances. So you have to have them here, and then if you're happy with what you're doing here, the things that you touch, not everything is going to be sunny and rosy, but if you put the right philosophy behind it and you have the right mindset, even if it doesn't always work out the way that you had planned, you can still find that measure of happiness. So that's kind of what I go through, and I worked for the world's largest employer, which was Walmart. Often as a manager, folks will say, "Why are you never stressed?" I said, "Because I'm here for my duration, and I'm going to do the task that's asked of me, or because I'm a manager, I'm going to sign out different things. But when it's time to go home, I go home. Work doesn't go with me, and I'm happy to be there." And so they will say, "Well, what about this? What about that?" I said, my philosophy has always been that when I came here, I was looking for a job. So if they let me go, I'm gonna leave here looking for a job. So, and that's how I approach it. It's not that I take anything light or serious, but I've seen many people get stressed out, whether they're self-employed or employed for someone else, and they're not happy. You have to have a measure of happiness and contentment with what you
Internally,
do.
right.
It has to be there.
Yes.
It has to be there. When you look at the overall goals, now if you set goals that's not achievable, you're setting yourself up to not be happy if that's what you focus on is on the material things. But if it's in the day-to-day things and building relationships with folks, doing good in the community, if you achieve those things, if it's just one person you touch, you have to pat yourself on the back.
Tell us something about you that surprises people.
That I am naturally a shy person. When you come and see me perform on stage, like even right now, because I know I'm behind the camera, I'm performing.
Yeah.
But when the cameras go off, you'll see me in the corner and say, "Well, Mike didn't even hardly say anything." Sometimes I'm searching for things to say. I am a people watcher, so I'm very analytical in the things that I do. And because I'm a creative writer, I will look at the way someone is dressed today that I haven't met, and I will build my own internal monologue about them and a story. And it's not really about them, it's just that they fit something in my mind that I wanted to write and discover. So oftentimes when I actually meet them, they just destroy the whole image I had of them. but I'm a very shy person. I don't seek the limelight. Even when I do my comedy, I go up and I do it. And my comedy is based on real life situations and circumstances. I'm a family-oriented comedian. PG-13 is about as rough as I'll go. But at the end of the day, because I am a single father, I have full custody for my kids. After we get done laughing, if there's a parent in the audience who, for whatever reason, they're separated from the other parent, and perhaps they haven't been involved with their kids. Like sometimes they're mad at the other person, and so they think that they're hurting the other person. If I can impact someone to pick up the phone, or write a letter, or send an email, or send a text message to their child, and just to give an expression, "How are you? I love you," or something like that, then I've done my job. I want you to laugh at the things that I go. For me to go through my daughter becoming a woman, if you know what I mean. We're not going to go through that whole story. If I could go through that and I can tell you the nightmarish situations that it went through, and you laugh and you have a good time, and then it makes you think about your own, I've done my job. I've done what I was set out to do. And that's kind of my ministry without it being a ministry. That's my grandpa.
That's Grandpa.
And he's a foundation for me also. It's a pleasure to be able to take care of me. And normally see him everywhere I go. And again, being able to be with him, shifting gears a little bit, and hear the stories that he has to tell. I can go visit and not turn the television on, not turn the radio on, and just listen to the way things were during the Depression or during World War II, or because he performed,
Get a whole history. Yeah.
Get a whole history. And see, we are kind of missing that now. I mean, we talk about all the technology, but sometimes we have to go back to our foundation as well.
So anyway, how do people get hold of you?
You can get a hold of me by my website, which is Mike Moses Presents, and that's plural, so once it's school, you gotta put an S at the end. Facebook, Facebook / Mike Moses Presents. I have a YouTube channel. Guess what? It's YouTube / user / Mike Moses Presents, and because I forgot the password, I had to make a Mike Moses Presents 1. Because I can't remember the original. Twitter me, Mike Moses Presents. Got to drop the TNS off because they don't let you put all that in. Or just call me 260-804-7834. Don't make any prank phone calls. I am a single man, so you might get pranked right back, but no heavy breathing on the phone is what I'm trying to say.
So we would like to thank Mike for coming and joining us today. And we'd like to thank the audience. We are recording at Higher Grounds downtown. This is Monday Morning Jolt. Use it.